In this video, let us see how we can use the measurement tools in the GeoWorkspace. Here we can see the completed button. It means that the project is complete and the result is available. You will also receive a mail in your mail ID telling that the result is ready. Now let's move on to the project outputs tab. Here it is saying that our project has been generated, and we can click on the Open Explorer to open the results. And this is the area which has been processed by the software, and the area processed by the software is on top of the Google Earth layer. And here we can see that the roads in our processed data and the roads in the Google Earth are overlapping, and it means that it has a good accuracy. Here we have a layer option, and it has got 4 layers. The orthomosaic and the other layer has been set by default. And also we have the elevation and the slope of layer. And to view the layer, we just have to click on this button, and here we can see a color range from blue to green to red. The blue is the place where there is the lowest elevation, and the green is the place where it has moderate, and the red is the place where it has the highest elevation. And using this ladder, we can adjust the transparency of the layer. Now next we move on to the slope layer. Using this button, we can switch on the layer, and with the help of the color range, we can find the areas where there is low slope and the area where there is high slope. This light colored area is having a low slope, and here the dark colored area is having high slope. And with the help of this slider, we can adjust the transparency of the slope layer. And with this button, we can off the slope layer. We can also adjust the transparency of the orthomosaic layer using this slider. If we do not have a scroll button, then we can use these two buttons. We can use this button to zoom in to the image, and we can use this button to zoom out of the image. We can also convert the processed image to a 3D model using this button. Let us wait for the 3D conversion to happen. Here the 3D model has been successfully created. We can zoom in and check the 3D model of the processed image. And we can also view the 3D model using different angles. And with the help of this high resolution button, we can see the images at a higher resolution. Let us switch it back to the 2D model. And we also have an option to share, and we can use this button to share. We just have to type in our mail ID and click on the share. Now let's move on to the measurement tool. Here we have two options, that is the map and the satellite. Clicking on the map, it will display the processed image, and it will disable the Google Map. and clicking on the satellite which will enable the Google map below the process map. Now let us take a look at the measurement tools. We have five measurement tools. The first is the location, then the distance, the elevation, the area and the volume. Now let us take a look at the first tool, that is the location. And if we want to know the location of any point in the processed image, then you can click on the image and here you can see the latitude, longitude, altitude and the slope. We can get these measurements on any part of the processed image using the location tool. And also you can use this tool to save the location. We can give a location name and we can also use the DTM feature that will enable us to give measurements of the digital terrain model. There are two types of model. They are the DSM and DTM. DSM is the digital surface model and it calculates the measurement of the surface and it includes the artificial as well as the natural things. That is, it includes the buildings, trees, etc. And the DTM is also known as the digital terrain model and it calculates the measurement excluding these trees, buildings, etc. And here we can also save the location. Click on the save button to save the location and we can find the saved location here. And if we go back and then click on this units tab and select degree minute seconds from here and then go back to the saved location and click on the saved location and here we can find that the latitude and longitude values have been changed to degree minute seconds. Earlier it was in decimal degrees, now it has been changed to degree minute second. And if we go back and select the units tab and select the UTM coordinates option from here, we can see that here the easting, northing and the altitude and slope values are available. And from the DMS, it has changed to UTM. Now let us check the other measurement tool, that is the distance. Let's say if we want to find the distance from this position to this position, then we just have to click on the initial and final position. And here we can see that we have here the normal length and the 3D length. In normal length, only the latitude and longitude is considered, but here in 3D length, the altitude is also considered. And here also we can use the DTM feature to calculate the measurement. And we also can save the distance. We click on the save button to save. And here we can see that the distance is saved here. Next, we move on to the next measurement tool, that is the elevation. Suppose this area is a mountain and I want to calculate the height of that mountain. Then we can use the elevation tool here. We have to click on the lowest and highest point on the map and then we can find here the elevation profile and the elevation of that area. This is a graph that is showing the elevation points and this is the elevation profile of that area. And if we go through this particular curve, we can see here that the same points are reflected on the map here. We also can change the distance interval. Here, this elevation profile has been made using 10 centimeter points. We can also change the distance interval. And suppose if you want to keep 1 meter, then we can change that using the calculate button here. And now here the points are reduced, and this elevation profile is made with a distance interval of 1 meter. We can further reduce this to 5 meter and then calculate, and then we can see here the points, and this elevation profile is made using this distance interval of 5 meter. We can also use the DTM feature here. Now let us save the elevation point, and here I am giving elevation 1, and with the help of this save button we can save the elevation point, and also in the elevation tab we can export all the sample data that we have got into a CSV file, and we use this button to download the CSV file, and here we have downloaded the CSV file, and now let's open the CSV file, and here we have the x and y as the northing and easting values, and also we have the elevation and the latitude and longitude, and the northing and the easting values are automatically based on the location. And now let us close this file, and we also have an option to download the sample data points as the DXF file, and we use this button to download them as a DXF file. And now let's move on to the next measurement tool, that is the area. And to calculate the area, we just have to click in the area like this, and we can calculate the area. Here we have the area of the selected portion, and let us save the area here. We can use this save button to save the area, and here we can see the saved area on the map. Next, we move on to the next measurement tool, that is the volume. And in order to mark the volume, we just have to mark the area like this, and we will get the volume of that particular area. Now we here have the volume measurements, and the lowest point method is used. In the lowest point method, the points which are marked on the polygon, the point with the lowest elevation is considered, and a plane is created at that point, and the volume would be calculated like how much volume is above that particular plane and how much volume is below that particular plane. The volume that is above that particular plane is called the cut volume, and the volume that is below is known as the fill volume. The next method is called the average point method. Here, whatever the points that we have selected on the polygon, the elevation of those points will be averaged, and based upon that, the cut volume and the fill volume are measured. Next, we move on to the next method, that is the linear fit. Here, with respect to the points in the polygon, a linear fitted plane will be considered, and the plane that fits the best will be considered for calculating the cut volume and the fill volume. Next, we move on to the next method, that is the manual base plane. Here, there is an option for the base elevation. So we need to know the elevation of the particular area. So here we can go back to the electrotion measurement tool and find the elevation of that area. By clicking here, we get the elevation. This is the area where we have to find the volume, and we go back to the volume measurement tool, and then we select that area, and then we calculate the volume, and we select the manual base plane method. The base elevation, we have to give the altitude of the area for which we are going to find the volume, and then give the base elevation as by 66.05, and then we give the calculate button. And this is how we calculate the manual base plane. And here we have the last method, that is the compare done. This method is used to compare the done of the similar projects that we have done in the Geo Workspace. And here we can select the project and give the save button and calculate the volume using the compare done method. The DTM feature is available in all the methods, and we can also use this DTM to find the volume. And also we can save the volume using this save button. And here we can see that all the measurements that we have saved, and this will be available each time we open the project. We can export all using this button, and we can see all these saved measurements in this .dbf file. These are the measuring tools that are available in the Geo Workspace. And with this, we come to the end of this tutorial. And thank you for watching the video.